Hello and welcome to another P video. Okay, so we are looking at Shattered Grid 26 and the annual 2018. It says number 1. I don't know why they do that, because you only usually get one a year. Sometimes they do 2 depending on what kind of year it is. So first of all, let's look at the covers. I'm digging this cover. We've just witnessed Tommy being gutted by Lord Draken, and the Time Force Ranger came in to save Kimberly, but apparently it was all over for Tommy. And then we have some lovely cover art here with various ranges, various swords, and that is pretty damn cool. There is a variant for this which I didn't get, which is quite a nice one, of the Zeo Gold Ranger. And the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Zero is written via the talented Carl Higgins, who has delivered us an epic arcs, taking our favourite characters and redeveloped them, made our villains more ruthless, and added a whole new spin with the Lord Draken element. He's really made this series something more for the adult fans. I feel he's really catered for them, giving us probably what we want, and I can only see him delivering more epicness with our favourite characters. Okay, first of all, we've got Lord Draken. He's returned home to Vinster 5, and they clearly have a relationship. I'd really like to see kind of like Lord Draken's kind of, not origin story, but kind of like a couple of issues just devoted to him and his story, if that makes sense. I mean, we can't have a gist of it, but it would be pretty cool to actually read it. And over here we have the sad moment of Tommy Oliver's death. Funeral, let me get that right. Okay, so we get a little flashback here, which pretty much Zordon and Alpha try to help Tommy, and it doesn't really work. And once again, Zordon is burying Rangers, which, really hits the Rangers quite hard, as you can imagine. And Billy wants his mum to have closure and it not to be swept under the rug, which I think is pretty human, to be fair. Instead of, hey, we don't know what happened to Tommy, but that's good. I like that. So the grieving begins, and we have Jason trying to talk at the funeral. In the end, it kind of gets too much. As you can imagine, it's hard burying a loved one, or somebody that you led, and I guess you feel like a failure. Okay, so Jen from Time Force is filling in the ranges of what's actually going on, that the dimensions are shattering. So basically she went back in time to prevent it, and obviously everything's changed in the future, and there's still a lot of work to do. Also, basically she says we can't save Tommy. There's it's done, it's all locked in place now, which is disappointing, because you kind of still want him to come back somehow. So I'm sure it'll all get resolved somehow, I guess. Okay, so flash forward, we have the Samurai Rangers. We have Lauren leading the team here. And pretty much we have Lord Draken and his army ready to invade. The war has begun. Some Macedon villains. Some pretty cool battles. And it is clear that Lord Draken is after the Morphers. Lauren gets away. Okay, game on. They finally have a way. If they can't go to the past, they can at least go sideways, which is just in time, because they found out what's happening to the Samurai Rangers. Okay, one thing that I'm loving about this story is that Jason already has the Dragon Shield to give him an extra boost. And then pretty much it's all go. Okay, so Billy's plan to EMP the bad guys doesn't go as planned, and pretty much they just bow out because at this point they don't really have a choice. Alright, so using Ninja, Lord Draken's plan is in motion as he starts to take on various Rangers' powers. Look, there's a samurai sword there. That's pretty cool. I've got to say, I'm loving how this plan is coming out. It started off really fast paced, and now it's starting to be a bit more steady as we seem to be moving on to each phase of Lord Draken's plan to conquer the universe. Okay, so let's look at the 2018 annual. And we have 4 stories: Zeo, SPD, RPM, and In Space. Sorry, 5 stories, including Ninja Steel. There's a little bit at the top. Okay, so the book starts with Zeo, and I really like this bit about Rocky and his relationship with Jason, because it was an interesting one. When Jason returned to Zeo, he kind of fell out of place when he was the guy who took him over. So that was kind of cool. And clearly the plan sank at the power chamber for him. And who's that in the corner? Okay, I really dig this scene. It's where Jason's given his old morpher back, even though it's not to be used. And this must be just after he's lost his Zeo powers, because he's not in a hurry to morph. So I kind of like how they've clearly watched the show sort of thing, and I've taken bits out of it to make this issue pretty specific on certain matters. This is also pretty cool, seeing them on the roof together and just talking, and they are having specific conversations, which is really interesting. I really like how they discuss Tommy becoming a leader, because this is something that they probably never did. And then pretty much Jason teleports into the sunset to the Philippines. Pretty cool place to travel. And the story shifts quite quickly, where we find the real Tommy being held hostage, and Lord Draken wanted to know why they looked up to him. And he's clearly got what he wanted, the Zeonizer, but he decides not to attack any of these Rangers, which is interesting. I always like villains that have more than just killing and attacking. They've got, there's a real drive or real thought behind them being bad, and that's why you can kind of relate to them and you kind of enjoy seeing them come back again and again. But other than him not wanting to hurt Tommy's friends, he takes out his other self, which is kind of sad. So that's interesting, and he actually expected him to be gone at this point, so it's really interesting. Okay, next up is the SPD story, which I found was all about teamwork. We get the attack from Lord Draken and his team, as you would expect. And there's some pretty good fights, and it becomes all about the mission. And I like that they included the smaller teams such as Boom and Cat. And it takes B Squad and C Block to actually implement this plan of releasing Rick 3.0. And he thought he was fighting a lesser Ranger team, not one of the great teams, as he put it. And they managed to repel them. And pretty much as always, it's continued in Shattered Grid. So over in the RPM, we have Lord Draken on a bike, which is similar to what happened in the show in one of the episodes, and wanting to speak to Dr. K. I love how they've actually studied the characters and shown them on this page, on the pages, and it's not just a whitewash quick through the different teams. They're actually showing their characters and what's special about them, such as Dr. K's birthday. Lord Draken's plan of infiltration takes place using the bike as they explode through. using the samurai powers. Okay, so we get the usual humour from Ziggy, which is pretty cool. And then the meetup of Dr. K and Draken. The Rangers get into gear and start the battle. Meanwhile, Lord Draken is telling Dr. K how he admires her for pretty much conquering the world, which is kind of ironic. Dylan's lost his powers and the battle continues. Lord Draken tries to explain to Dr. K that by doing what she did, releasing the virus actually gave the people of this earth, this reality, a chance of peace, which is odd as they're the last surviving city on the planet, so to speak. And he offers her the opportunity to join him and his plan. He clearly admires her work and what she's capable of. Now, I love how Dr. K works around what is being offered and how she goes back to, I'm not joining you. And she takes out the Vendrix android. Very, very smart. But did she know whether he was an actual android or human? Now that is the question. Happy birthday, Dr. K. Over in space, TJ is bored of card games. And the captain, he's never been called captain, Andros sends him on a mission to repair the airlock. And this must have been really early in the Rangers' adventures in space, because Andros wasn't so in touch with the Rangers at the beginning. And Lord Draken basically tells Decker to let him in or he's going to blow her up. Alpha discovers the anomaly and is challenged by Lord Draken, but he doesn't recognize Lord Draken, which is surprising. Actually, no, this is Alpha 6, not Alpha 5. And then we go back to TJ, and he's moaning. So Lord Draken's strategy is quite clear. Take over the ship, isolate the Rangers, take control of their morphers, move on. Most shockingly enough, Alpha 6 has his head crushed, and Andros loses power. However, TJ is free, and he starts initiating the Megazord mode. And TJ makes a most noble sacrifice to protect the Rangers. And the final chapter is about Ninja Steel, which I'll be honest, the latest seasons of Power Rangers on TV, I'm not really a fan of. They don't seem to be character driven as what we used to get back in Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, etc. At this point, the Red Ranger feels like his team are only just about getting by, and at some point they're going to lose. So he kind of goes off by himself, rookie mistake, and Lord Draken is pretty much waiting for him. Now this is a pretty easy chapter to read, not much dialogue, and pretty straight into the action. And his plan doesn't work, and he cannot morph. But it doesn't matter, he's got friends who jump in to fight, and Mick reassures Brody that he can repair his morpher. And pretty much they manage to repel Lord Draken. So the annual finishes with the Rangers realizing they may never know where their attacker came from, and Lord Draken plans to melt down the Ninja Steel because he has an idea. So I'm looking forward to the next issue of Shattered Grid. So all in all, a good couple of issues that this obviously has the main story in, and this has all the little side stories with the other Rangers, which are fun and mostly well thought out, I find. So really enjoyable if you can get them both. Boom Studios are pretty much sending out every issue of Shattered Grid at the moment. People are snapping it up. Thank you for watching, take care, and embrace the geekiness. Goodbye.